What's up, Speedrun fans? It's Brood here with another episode of the Run Rundown. In this video, we're going to talk about a belt scroll beat 'em up on the Sega Genesis, Streets of Rage 2. We get to the top 50% of the leaderboard to make sure that we've put enough time and grind in to give you an accurate report. We're going to cover some gameplay, progression in the speedrun, the biggest challenges of the speedrun, and then wrap it up with the rundown. Let's get started. It's an input-heavy game that gives you a lot of versatility and ability to deal with the problems that the game throws at you. The Streets of Rage 2 speedrun has multiple difficulties, each with their own board, from very easy to mania. There's also multiple characters you can choose from, once again with their own boards, between Max, Axel, Blaze, and Skate. We chose Max for our playthrough, so in total we were playing Max on normal. It should be noted though that Streets of Rage 2 is a very active community, and each board does have many times on it regardless of the difficulty. You can choose how you play the game and do the speedrun and still know that there's going to be a community there to play with. Now, let's talk about some gameplay. The core gameplay of the speedrun comes down to clearing the screens quickly, which means killing the enemies quickly, and then performing the quick kills on the bosses effectively. There's a wide array of enemies that each have different specializations. This can be anything from sliding, to grabbing, to having anti-air attacks. While individually all these things are minor, on the harder difficulties it will become imperative that you know what every enemy is capable of. Speedrunning Streets of Rage 2 boils down to two crucial factors: quickly disposing the regular enemies and navigating the screens, as well as efficiently taking down the bosses. These elements require different strategies. Eliminating the regular foes is all about speed, optimization, and situational awareness. This includes precise kills, making effective use of splash damage, continuously moving the screen, and predicting enemy spawn points. In Max's case, splash damage was the best way to clear the screens quickly, and that is what we focused on. Other characters will have different strategies though, so keep that in mind. Quick kills are the other major component of the game. Knowing how to handle the different bosses is a critical aspect of knowing how to do the speedrun quickly. Barbin, for example, takes damage through blocking, which means you can inflict massive damage with your special. Zamza and his other iterations requires a specific pattern to execute, and if you do that correctly, he goes down pretty easily. Here at least. You can expect that each boss is going to bring something a little bit different and that you're going to learn specific tricks for each of them. Alright, now let's talk about progression up on the leaderboard. As you may know, we get to the top 50% of the leaderboard, and the reason that we do this is because doing a trick once or twice, or maybe completing a single run, does not tell the full story. The first point in your progression is getting to where you can beat the game. This can mean driving down how many continues it takes, or it can mean killing enemies more effectively. Next comes figuring out where you're slow. We did this by comparing each screen individually to the world record and just looking at where we could go faster. There's a real benefit in being able to choose the level that you want to practice. What you begin to find out is getting faster at clearing the screens means more splash damage, knowing the enemy spawns, and getting the technical execution down pat. This will be contrasted with consistency at the quick kills. It is important to consider that progression can happen differently for different people, but generally speaking, the same bases tend to get hit. Now that you have an idea how progression will happen, here's a screen comparison between the world record time, a middling time, and a first playthrough for Max on normal. The core challenges of this speedrun are that it is very input intensive. It requires a lot of reaction. It can be really challenging to determine where your time loss is actually happening without detailed analysis. It is impossible to get the perfect run, and sometimes enemies just don't cooperate. When it comes to optimization, every leaderboard is very competitive. In conclusion, Streets of Rage 2 is fast-paced. You won't have a hard time completing runs. It is extremely skill-intensive. And if you like beat 'em ups or have a nostalgic attachment to this, you are going to love it. Now for the rundown. Input complexity, medium. There's a significant degree of decision-based inputs of low or medium complexity. There are parts of the game that require a fairly high degree of precision, like the bosses. Error penalty, low. Your mistakes will be all over the place. You won't even notice that you're making mistakes at first. Memorization requirement, low. You'll have to remember the enemy spawns and some other things, but generally speaking, you just react and go with what you know. RNG, low. RNG is mostly around enemy movements, but it doesn't make too much of a difference. The completion rate for the runs was 32% on normal. Run completion is going to be based on difficulty and how much you personally want to reset. Here are some additional stats which may be interesting to you. So, is Streets of Rage 2 sounding like a perfect challenge for you? Or did we overlook something crucial that you would like to let us know? Drop a comment below and let's get the discussion rolling. If you found this video useful, or if it helped you decide on a new speedrun, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth speedrun guides like this one. Your support truly helps us out. If you want to see us master our next game live, make sure to join us on Twitch. You can find the link in the description below. Also, we're always on the lookout for new games to speedrun. If you think there's a game you'd love to see us tackle, make sure to let us know in the comment section. Your suggestions are incredibly valuable to us, and who knows, maybe your next game gets featured. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, keep on running. Let's conquer those leaderboards together.